Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, which is out from Llewellyn Books now. And I had some requests about Amazon. So some of you have tried to get the book on Amazon, and it says it's going to take 2 to 3 months. I can assure you it will not. There is a big shipment of books getting sent to Amazon, and the sales have been really good. In fact, on our Kindle edition of Fearless Tarot, we are #1 in the tarot category. So thank you so much. If you want to get your hands on a copy quicker than Amazon, go directly to Llewellyn Books and order your copy there. Otherwise, there's also an audiobook on iTunes, and then there's also the Kindle version, which is immediately available too. It is time for this week's Oracle Reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals, and I asked you to use your intuition and just ask yourself which animal was getting stuck in your head, because that animal has a message for you. And the animals were the grasshopper, the lion, and the rabbit. And if you pick grasshopper, the card says take a leap of faith. And grasshopper also reminds me of that old story of the ant and the grasshopper, where the grasshopper plays the fiddle all through summer and he's playing and the ant is working hard. And then when winter comes, the poor grasshopper doesn't have any food and he wasn't preparing for winter. So sometimes it says be urgent. Take your goals seriously right now. Move on them now. The first card for grasshopper is where it's best for them to place their focus this next week. And the winds are howling outside my window, my goodness. And the first card is the 9 of Pentacles, which is all about wealth consciousness and also preparing yourself for some sort of eventual success. This card is also saying that sometimes success will come slowly. We got that little snail in the bottom corner of the card, which can indicate that this is going to be a slow-moving time where your progress isn't going to be, immediately apparent through leaps and bounds, but where you really want to be patient and cultivate where things are heading slowly but surely. You also want to train your focus. The woman also has that falcon in her hand, which she's placed a hood on top of. And that can indicate that right now you really want to train your focus on only the things you want to manifest more of in your life at this time. Wealth consciousness begins with your consciousness and where your mind is allowed to dwell. Second, we have advice from your inner wisdom if you pick the grasshopper card. And there we got that 10 of swords. That card shows the 10 swords on the figure's back. And the reason they're in his back is because the swords represent problems or issues that he wasn't facing, and they finally caught up with him. The swords are a metaphor for something that's making you uncomfortable that maybe you're not facing, that maybe you should get moving on. And it might be tied to something that will eventually bring you success, but will make you uncomfortable in the short term as you're trying to launch this. And the 10 of Swords is saying, stop being afraid of it. Turn around, take back your power, and really face down whatever it is that you are frightened of. And just take charge of it. Just make some small action toward your eventual goal. And you'll even see that the black clouds are breaking up and the sunlight is returning in the background of the 10 of Swords. So this is saying that this feeling of unease is temporary. And finally, the mythic archetype, the 3 fates, the Moire, are coming up for the grasshopper people, which means that your destiny is calling. This isn't something to be afraid of. Instead, it's time to turn around, face what it is that you really want to see your life manifest as, and also take stock of anything you're avoiding, because that's sapping your personal power. Take ownership at this time. Next, we got the lion spirit, and if you picked lion, it says be generous of spirit, and lion is all about regality and taking the majestic stance towards your life and really taking your seat at that table. And also holding your head up high because you've worked hard to get to where you are. It's important that you're honoring yourself at this time. First card for lion is where it's best for them to place their focus, and we got another swords card. So there's a lot going on with the collective right now where we're facing a lot of fear. And on the 8 of Swords, you see the woman who's bound up and tied, and she's feeling powerless in the face of her fear. She's blindfolded, symbolizing that she can't see what's going to happen next. And although her situation looks hopeless, look closer. Because in the tarot, we see that the swords are right next to this woman. In fact, they're flanking her, and her legs still work, and no one's keeping her there, and all she has to do is rub her bindings against those sharp swords that are right next to her. Sometimes this card says that the very thing you're afraid of or that's limiting you is actually the gateway toward your breakthrough, toward the way out of the situation or the feeling of hopelessness. And so this is a time to really challenge how tied up you really are, how powerless you you may be feeling may not be reflecting the reality of how powerful you actually are. And then also the Eight of Swords encourages you to turn inward for that strength that you might have forgotten that you've had. Second, we have advice from your inner wisdom. And then we got the Tower card for the Lion. And the Tower is a healing card. Despite its destructive imagery, which gives us all a start, the Tower wipes away a state of denial or something false. The figures that are falling from the Tower were prisoners of their own making. They were trapped in their head. And each rationalization they told themselves, each fear that they built into their foundation got them higher and higher and way further away from nature, which is far below them. And that lightning bolt's an epiphany. It's what the universe sends to us when it's like, snap out of it. Get out of your head. You are totally selling yourself short. You're making yourself feel way more powerless than you are. It's time to get back to reality and clear out anything that you don't need anymore. And when I see these two cards next to each other for Lion, it is so important that you are pushing back on any negativity that's been really kind of running the show in the background of your consciousness right now. Don't let fear rob you out of your breakthrough. And then finally, the mythic archetype that is going to be helping Lion is a reassuring goddess. It's the goddess Athena. She's the goddess who shields and protects heroes, and she's also the goddess of wisdom. She's telling you that your wisdom is going to be your greatest protector through all of these things. And even if you're going through a time where you're uneasy or uncertain or don't know the way forward, the goddess Athena lends her shield and also her owl, which can see through the dark. So just be assured that you're going through a period that might feel a little bit challenging, or where you're really getting into touch with the greatest fears, but your wisdom will lead you through this. And then finally, we have the rabbit spirit, and it says now is a lucky time, and rabbit is associated with luck, but it's also associated with fear or anxiety. If we ever see rabbits in nature, they're always anxious about some animal eating them or something going terribly. So this card can say, look at your luck, look at your opportunities, and try to divert away from your anxiety. First card for rabbit is where it's best to place their focus, and it's on coming out of hiding. We got that Six of Wands, which is a card of celebrating yourself, promoting yourself, and really putting your best foot forward. This isn't the time to be shy or introverted or hide yourself from the world. The Six of Wands is all about sharing your gifts. And in fact, I usually call it the fame card, because it says that you're going to be attracting a little bit more attention, especially as we're going through these next couple of months or so. So for rabbit, this is a great time to promote yourself and toot your own horn. It's also a time to unapologetically shine. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you picked the rabbit, is the Queen of Cups reversed. And when she comes up reversed, she's indicating that there might be some sort of feelings that really need to be felt at this time. That you might have been in your head too much. It might have been an active time. It might have been a time of huge growth with those Wands cards. And the Queen of Cups reversed is saying it's time to check back within. It's also time to nurture yourself or hear your feelings or feel the real feelings at this time. Just get back in touch with what it is that's made you most anxious. And finally, the Queen of Cups reverse tells you to prize your feelings, that even challenging feelings are valuable. They are absolutely informing your life and bringing out the best opportunity for you to prove the best of who you are. And then finally, we have the mythic archetype that is going to be helping the rabbit people, and we got the Queen of the Gods, Hera. And she's all about duty and the honor code that you need to keep with yourself at this time. And it's also important when Hera shows up to ask if you're violating your honor code in any way. Are you doing something that is against your feelings, especially with Queen of Cups reversed? Are you feeling coerced or pressured or like you have to go forward and do something against what your true feelings are telling you? Hera is telling you to step into your majesty, to call the shots, and to know that you own your life and its direction. So it's time to take your power back. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, you can always check me out at elliotoracle.com. And if you also like my empowering way of interpreting tarot, please do check out Fearless Tarot. It is doing really well, and I really want to hear what all of you think about it after you read it. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and do take care. I will see you next week. Stay healthy and stay happy. Bye.